everyone, and thank you all for joining us here for this very quick guide through RFMcube's potential. In this guide, I will show you how to actually set up and create an account, how to connect your account, your website to RFMcube, and how to use the first segments. So, first of all, let's start with the account. If you arrived here, I guess you arrived through this landing page and that you filled in this form. Once you fill in this form, you're going to receive an email that is going to ask you to confirm your registration. It's just one click. In case if you don't see it, then just check your spam. Once you click through that link, you should be landing on this page here. This is just the very first setup. So you're going to need to add, for example, your website. And then you'll have to connect the website to RFMcube. And to do this, you have two options. The first one is the integrations that we already have in place. So you're just going to have to select your own website builder, and you also have a guide for each different integration. Or you can also use just the API, RFMcube's API. Once you've done that, it's going to check if you have correctly set up everything. If not, feel free to reach out. We're going to help you. Now, this is how the dashboard is going to look like once you have connected your website or your store to RFMcube. Just very quickly explaining the dashboard and what you're going to find there. RFMcube is based on 3 parameters: recency, frequency, and monetary. But this is not the only analysis that it does. So in the first part, you have churn rate, retention rate, latency, so how much time passed in between purchases, and also the total revenue per customer. The second part will show you a flow, like a funnel, where you can see, for example, people that purchased more than a year ago, or people that did 1 or more purchases, and how much they have spent, if it's less or more than a certain amount that you have set. About this part, for example, you can always customize each part of the funnel, and you can call it as you like. You can just go to Setup RFM, and you decide what you want to see in this funnel. So you can decide if you want to see products that were purchased more than a year ago. You can change the name, and you can customize it based on your needs. Once you clicked on Save Configuration, you're going to see the dashboard immediately updated here. In the second part, you can actually see what happened with new and recurrent customers. So, for example, RFMcube is doing a retrospective analysis, which means that you won't have the data from today on, but you're going to have historical data as well. And this is pretty cool because it really shows you the customer behavior, and you can really make decisions based on that as well. In the first part, you can see, for example, new versus recurring. You can also blur out the data that you're not interested in. You can change the dates as well. So if you, for example, just want to see the last 3 months, you can do that as well. And you can see the graphics based on the revenue and the orders trends. So you can see if new customers, for example, purchase more or brought more revenue than recurring customers. And you can also see how many orders they made within a certain time range. For example, in this case, I want to see the difference in orders between the new and recurring customers, the difference in the revenue. Scrolling down on the dashboard, you're going to find my favorite part, which is the orders heat map. This is very important because in case if you're planning a campaign, an email campaign, for example, this will show you exactly when people are more likely to purchase. And based on that, you can plan then your email campaigns, like when to send them out. Should it be morning, afternoon, Monday, Wednesday? Also here you can choose the time range that you want to apply to these orders. And as it explains here, the brighter dots are no purchases, and they go dark and darker the more purchases you received. It really helps you in a couple of seconds decide how to schedule and when to schedule your next campaign. Let's go to the segments management, which is exactly why we're here. So, how we can use the segments from RFMcube. We can use them for email campaigns, but we can also use them for advertising. If you do run ads, for example, you know that you can actually build some custom audience segments. And in order to do that, both on Facebook or on Google, you can just download the SCV file and upload it on your advertising platform. Let's assume now that we want to re-engage very old customers that didn't purchase in a very long time. Now, we don't know why they didn't purchase, but maybe we want to retarget them in the next promotion we have. So let's assume, for instance, that I want to create a new segment and I want to create people that purchased more than a year ago, that made at least one purchase, and that spent at least 50 euros. What you can do here is apply these filters, and it's going to show you immediately the data related to your selection. So for example, how much they've been spending, and even the products they've been purchasing. And what you can do is saving this audience, and then you will find it here in the segments based on the name you gave it. You can easily integrate then each segment with your email marketing tool, or you can also download it as CSV in case if you don't want to integrate that directly, or if the tool that you're using is not yet an integration in RFMcube. What else can we do? Because this is not it. We can go deeper in the segmentation. So you can not only segment based on recency, frequency, and monetary, but based on what kind of store you have. If you're selling different products, different categories, you can really filter much deeper. So let's assume that besides the recency, frequency, and monetary parameters, I also want to use other parameters that create smaller segments that are more customized, more detailed. Then we can filter, for example, by orders, and we can select at least once, and this will allow us automatically to go deeper in the filtering. And then I decide to filter based on the items and only choose the categories that are, for example, the name of the category can be shoes. And this is an example. And this really helps you to go deeper into the segmentation. so that you can really be precise with your campaigns and making sure that you customize your message and that is tailored to a specific segment. In this case, for example, we filtered based on the orders and then the items, categories, and the name of the category. And that will also depend on what your store is providing. We can even add another category, for example. And in this case, I want shoes, but I also want people that purchased jackets. So we're going to put name equal and then jackets. This again depends on what you're selling. Also, the names of the categories are tailored to what you have on your store as well. But it's just to give you an overview on how deep you can go in the segmentation. You apply the filters, and you have your segment. Now, just before we leave, I'm going to show you also some integrations. Because besides the integrations that we have at the beginning, the ones connecting your shop or your website to RFMcube, we also have integrations that connect RFMcube directly with your email marketing tool. We have, for example, the Sunnyblue, MailChimp, but we also have Facebook as an integration. But remember that you can always use the segments even if RFMcube is not directly integrated with your email marketing tool, because you can always export your segment as CSV and import it directly in your email marketing tool and launch your campaign. So this was the very first guide for how to use and how to set up RFMcube. What I'd like to do is make sure that you are completely, fully onboarded. So in case if you do have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're also offering some free setup calls. So please feel free to reach out anytime and start segmenting as soon as possible.